Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Sam of Stitchy Sam here on FlossTube, but also on Instagram. Today I'm going to share with you my exciting plans for March. Now, I've never done a stitching challenge quite like this, but I'm going to take part in the March Stitchy Madness. I saw Cross Stitch Bunny do something similar last year and I just thought it looked really good fun. Loved voting on her WIPs, and I've decided to do it this year myself. So the idea of March Stitchy Madness is to select 8 either WIPs or new starts which you would like to finish, if not in March but the year. And I just thought, well, my annual goals are to finish or get close to finishing 6 of my WIPs. So I thought, well, that can be the first 2, and the last 2 you'll have to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each of the WIPs and how it'll work along with showing you them. So the first WIP that I'm going to be starting, and I'm going to do this from Monday to Thursday. So I'll be starting this on the 2nd of March, Monday the 2nd of March. So I do 1 day stitching for each of, well, 2 of the WIPs, and then I'll put up to vote. And I'll be doing that on Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram with StitchySam5, and I will be putting up a poll every time a battle between 2 WIPs has taken place. So the first one I'm going to stitch on is, and I'm just going to, it's quite sunny here in the UK for once, is Australia Adventure. So you can see I'm a fair way through that. I absolutely love the colours in this one, and yeah, it's really fun to stitch on. You just sort of feel every time I do a little icon that it's like a little finish in a way. So I've been stitching on that this week actually. So that's Australian Adventures, and that's on 16 count light blue Ada by Zweigart. And yeah, so that's going to be number 1 items in terms of stitching, and that's going to be facing the next one I've got in front of me, which is Made to Create. Now this is another caterpillar cross stitch design. It was initially a SAL, so that's why this is all blurred out. I'll put up what it will look like when complete here while I get it out of the packaging. And so this is sort of like a battle of caterpillar cross stitch designs. So am I going to continue with Australian Adventures or Made to Create? Excuse all the crinkles. Really needs a good iron, but I would do that once I've completed the design. So I'm about 60% of the way through of that one. So it's Made to Create, and each of the craft items are sort of like placed so it looks like a letter. So I've completed the E, A, T, and both the E's there and there. I'm currently working on the R here, so that will be interesting and exciting to stitch then. So I'm just gonna put those here to tidy up later. Now the set, so I'll pop a poll after I've stitched both of those. That will be on the 3rd of March. The next one is but it's not a SAL, it's an informal SAL. It's another caterpillar cross stitch design, which is Hello Holly, and that's where I'm up to on that one so far. Needle Minder is also caterpillar cross stitch. I just thought it fitted in nicely with the theme. I'm doing this as an informal SAL with Manx Kathy, who is on Instagram. She doesn't have a floss tube, unfortunately, but I do recommend you look at her WIPs and her finishes. Now, Hello Holly will actually face Spring Rabbit. Well, I christened it Spring Rabbit. So that's what it looked like when complete. And this is what it looks like now. So you can see, hopefully, that this one's just got the flowers to put in the background. And I really believe that this will be finished sometime this year. And it would be nice to make a bit more progress in the month of March. So, but which will you decide to go through? Which will you vote for? I'm really excited and really interested to know what my viewers and what my followers on Instagram are keen to see more of. So yeah, so as I've said before, hop over to Instagram if you want to vote. And yeah, so I'm Stitchy Sam 5, and I'll put that down at the bottom and in the description below. Okay, and so that's the set, the first two battles, and the next one is my bookshelf. My next contestant is the bookshelf 2023. So this is a design by Stitching Cabin, and this is a record of the books that I read in 2023. And again, this is something I would like to finish this year. So this is on 18 count coffee craft fabric using CXC threads. I've completed the top 2 shelves of the design, and I'd ideally like to finish the rest of it. So I've just got 3 shelves to do, and I think if this is voted through, I think I'll make really good progress, potentially finishing at least 1 more shelf and possibly moving on to the one below with the clock on. And I think that one's the one with the goldfish bowl on as well. So I'm going to be working on that one in the third battle, and they will face something completely different, and that will be my frogs kissing. No, it's a heaven and earth design. This is a quick stitch, which was actually another cell, so it's discontinued, but I believe that the full size design is still available. This was from 2015 cell. Sorry, I haven't prepared these fabrics well. Right, okay, so here we go. So this is what frogs kissing looks like. So it's completely different to the bookshelf, but both lovely in their own way. So it's frogs kissing, and this is 25 count magic guide, extremely faded due to the age of the project. But yeah, I have fallen back in love with this. I think when I was first stitching it, the first page, I really struggled with the colours, but now I have Pattern Keeper and also Royal Rose with all the pulp threads. It is making things a lot easier, and I was enjoying that when I stitched that on that earlier this month. I'll provide the full details in my monthly update, which I'm going to publish next week. So that's that. There's the frogs. Now the final battle is an interesting one. I'll show you the first WIP, and then I'll explain why it's particularly interesting. Right, okay, so the first WIP is one from Gecko Rouge, also a cell, and also started in 2015. This is Sally Squirrel by Gecko Rouge. Again, it's an Anita in Verity design, and it's discontinued obviously because it was just for the cell. So Sally Squirrel is going to join the final competitor, the 8th competitor, which is going to be the Melika Sal. Now that isn't due to start until the 25th of February. So I won't actually know or be able to show you an update of that until after the 25th. So I'll be stitching a bit of that, so it's going to get a little bit of love before, oh sorry for this wobbling, for the shaking, before the March Madness starts. And yeah, so it'll have at least the 1 day, so it'll be the Sally Squirrel versus my new Sal, and that's to be continued once I start it. Essentially that's a new start for February, or going to be a new start for February. The fabric's all prepared. You might have seen my earlier video where I've done sort of like a tutorial on how to prepare fabric. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is put a large on the screen, the I don't know what you'd call them. I know that the full details are on the Steel Stitches website. It was their creation, this March Stitchy Madness, and because we're in a sporting household, it was really exciting to tell my son about that. I was doing a cross stitch championship. So that on the screen you'll be able to see right now is the chart of which WIPs are going against each other. But as I said before, I'm going to be stitching on these Monday to Thursday. I need to have 15 days available, so there's 4 weeks in March. I'm going to do Monday to Thursday, which will give me 16 days. So I'll stitch on each the quarterfinals, so that's 4 days, then the semi-finals another 2 days, and then the final 1 day, and then the final piece will get stitched on for a further 2 days. So that, yeah, really exciting. And please join me on Instagram for all the polls, all the votes. Do you have a favourite right now? What are the odds of it finishing top? So I just wanted to share that with you to launch